What's up, y'all? I've been thinking about this season and like how everything is just set up for Sam Howell to be successful. Because when you think about it, it's like he has top receivers, right? And then he also has two top running backs. Like they're great running backs. And one of them used to play wide receiver in college. And he also has Eric Bieniemy, who was uh, the offensive coordinator for Patrick Mahomes when he was a rookie. You know what I'm saying? And when he finally got his first start, Eric Bieniemy was there, and Eric Bieniemy been there for Patrick Mahomes throughout his entire season, so entire career, I meant. So it's just like when you think about it, it's like okay, everything seems like it's going to be very successful for him, and you know, to even think about like when I was gonna say Lamar Jackson, like when he came into the league, his first season he wasn't the starter. I believe they still had Joe Flacco, so he played behind him, and whenever Joe Flacco got injured, he came in. But the next season they got Greg Roman, and that was a perfect timing because it was perfect for the type of quarterback he was. And Greg Roman, really showed Lamar like Lamar's talents. And everybody don't give him his credit, Greg Roman, but I feel like Greg Roman he's just one of those people that it worked, and then over time he didn't know how to switch it up the correct way. I think the first 2 years was it for that system that he had, but I feel like that's just perfect. It was just perfect timing for Greg Roman to move up in the Ravens organization to become the offensive coordinator, and then at the right time, because Lamar was a running quarterback. He still is. So it was perfect timing for him. And then as I feel like it was perfect timing for Eric Bieniemy to be the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs. And I think it's the perfect time for Eric Bieniemy to be offensive coordinator for Sam Howell. So it's just like in the Commanders. And I just feel like it's perfect. It can't get any better than that. I just feel like the offense is great. The defense is great. We just found a way to create more turnovers, but by getting what's his name, Emmanuel Forbes. And I feel like what more can you ask for? And then we also got Martin. So I still haven't looked up everything on him just yet, but he's a great player, and I can see that. I'm not sure how any of these draft picks going to perform in the league, because that college is completely different than the league. But once you enter the league, you got to once again prove yourself. So Sam Howell is in a great year. This is perfect. Everything is centered around him. Ron Rivera believes in him. He feels as though he's that guy. And I feel like if they make it to the playoffs, don't even worry about the fact that they lose in the first round of the playoffs. If they just make it to the playoffs, Eric Bieniemy will prove that he's a great offensive coordinator, because he's not with Reid. What's his name? Andy Reid this season. So, and then also the Commanders didn't make it to the playoffs last season. So this season would really, really be great for them. This would prove that they can make it to the playoffs. It would prove that Eric Bieniemy is great. He's good. It will prove that he's good, not phenomenal, but it proved that he makes a difference. Because for some reason people don't want to give Eric Bieniemy his credit, but he's going to prove himself this season, and I feel like everything is in place. He's at a great team, and people really underestimate the Commanders, but I feel like they can make it to the playoffs this season, and with a great record. So I see them going. I'm gonna be realistic. I see them going 10-7. I see them going 10-7 to make it to the playoffs. and I believe they can do it. And just imagine how many stories all intertwined in one would prove everybody wrong this season. You got Eric Bieniemy, Ron Rivera, Sam Howell. All they have to do, the minimum, no, you know what? That's the maximum of what everybody's expectations are for the season, is for them to make it to the playoffs. If they're able to do that, then they proved everybody wrong. So, Sam Howell has everything he needs. You know, he also, and the Commanders did a great job by, you know, getting somebody who's not better than Sam Howell, but has more experience than Sam Howell, and is a great veteran to show Sam Howell how he should act as the starting QB, you know, and not a quarterback with so much talent that he's going to take his spot, but, you know, guide him through and be there and, you know, show the guys that, okay, this is what a starting quarterback needs to do or is. So they got Jacoby Brissett, and I think I underestimated him when I first seen him and he first came into the organization, because I was just like, who? What? You know, I mean, but he was the starting quarterback for the Browns for a little bit until Deshaun Watson came back. But he kept them at a decent pace, you know, and that's what you want out of out of a backup quarterback. And he does a great job at it. And he sat behind, I believe, Tom Brady. So, you know, he has a lot of experience, and he's been in the league for, like, I believe 7 years, 8 years, but he has a lot to show, and he's been there and done it all. So, and there's been times where teams have needed him to be the starter, you know what I'm saying? And he's done that. And then he also, like, just the traits that Jacoby Brissett, you know, has, really embodies what it means to be a starting quarterback. Because, like, bruh, just this man is willing to write letters to his teammates. I think he was writing them every week. I think that's what he said in his press conference when he showed up to the Commanders. But I'm like, yo, like, nah, that's what's up, though. And he said when he didn't send letters to the teams, to his teammates at the Browns, they would text him or they would, you know, reach out to him and be like, yo, I didn't get a letter this week. What's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, just trying to figure out, you know, that he really knows how to have his team believe in him, you know. Even if he's losing games, they still believe in him. And at the end of the day, they know he's there to help them. And if he mess up, you know, he's going to be accountable for it. So that's great traits that Sam Howell has to, you know, really start, you know, doing. And he got the right person behind him in his corner. So, and also he has Jake Fromm, if just in case, you know, they got a third quarterback, just in case Sam Howell gets injured this season. Hopefully not. And it needs Jacoby Brissett to be the starting quarterback for a little bit. And then you got Jake Fromm just in case he gets injured, you know, just in case. You know how the San Francisco 49ers did last season. And, you know, they went down to Brock Purdy. They lost, who was it? Trey Lance, and they also lost, what was his name? Jimmy Garoppolo. So they had to move to their third quarterback, which was Brock Purdy. And who expected that to happen? So I believe the Commanders are making all the right moves this season to really set up everything so they don't have too many weaknesses, you know, because we're going to have weaknesses, but they don't want too many, you know what I'm saying? So they're doing a great job, and I expect them to be 10-7 this season, just barely making it to the playoffs. But I just feel, I feel like they barely gonna make it because, you know, Sam Howell he's just starting, you know. Ain't no telling where he's gonna be or what he can do. But I just feel like, the bare minimum is what I expect. I expect just the playoffs. That's the bare minimum for me. And I think he can do it. And, Ron Rivera believes in this man, and he tells him all the time. But the thing about Ron Rivera, he doesn't want him to believe that he's the top guy no matter what. He wants him to understand that he has to continue to fight for a position. And that's what I like about Ron Rivera. Like, he doesn't make you feel like you're a star. He don't want to put you on too high of a pedestal to where you feel like I'm that guy and you guys need me. Because he wants him to have a character. He wants him to develop. And it all depends on who you have in your circle for you to have that great starting quarterback mentality, traits. He wants you to have great traits. So he's keeping him level-headed to where he's, okay, this could be my team, but only if I'm willing to work hard, be here before everybody else, leave when everybody else is gone, be the last one to leave, So it's like Ron Rivera is taking all the great steps to make him who he needs Sam Howell to be. It's just all on Sam Howell now. And, I see I haven't heard anything about Sam Howell missing a week or missing practice, but all I've seen and all I've heard from him is starting quarterback information. You know what I'm saying? Like you hear, yeah, I'm my team, my guys, we're gonna do it this season. We're gonna be great. We're gonna do everything. Yeah, I'm rooting my guys and I believe in my guys. I'm hearing all that information. So, like, I feel like he's doing good. You know what I'm saying? As long as he sounds like a robot, we straight. Like, anytime quarterbacks sound like that and they always putting their team first, unfortunately, that's what starting quarterbacks and that's what teams want to hear. They want to hear you sound like a robot. As long as you keep putting team and my coach and my organization, that's all they want to hear. So that's all I'm hearing from Sam Howell. So I'm believing he's doing the right thing. So I feel like it's going to be a great season for him. And everything is set up perfectly for him. And he also had Eric Bieniemy. And Eric Bieniemy was, like I said before, he was there when Patrick Mahomes was trying to build himself up, And so he was there throughout his journey. So Eric Bieniemy got a lot to offer, you know what I'm saying? He has a lot to offer to Sam Howell. He has everything that he's seen Patrick Mahomes do. He can bring it to Sam Howell and let Sam Howell, shape and transfer that information how he wants to make it into himself, and he be the next Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot to expect, and I think it was great that he didn't play more than one game last season, because I felt like if Ron Rivera ain't put you out there and let you start, it was a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't just let anybody start. He make everybody work for it. You got to pay attention. Like, if you don't see it, Ron Rivera makes your ass work. He make you work. So I feel like if Ron Rivera say he ready to go, or he's the starting quarterback, then he is. You know what I'm saying? He earned it. Put it that way. He earned it. So I'm excited, and I think everything is in place for Sam Howell.